What if King Arthur's greatest weapon wasn't lost to history but hidden, waiting for its next wielder? When a bullied schoolboy pulls a mysterious sword from a stone, he unknowingly awakens an ancient evil that was never meant to return. Now, with the fate of the world at stake, a group of kids must become knights, a forgotten wizard must regain his power, and a legendary battle must be fought before time runs out. This isn't just a fairy tale. This is the greatest Arthurian showdown of the modern age, and the ending will leave you speechless. Long ago, the kingdom of Albion was ruled by King Uther Pendragon. But after his untimely death without an heir, the land spiraled into chaos. The powerful sorcerer, Merlin, forged a mystical blade, Excalibur, embedding it within an ancient stone, declaring that only the true sovereign could draw it forth. Many warriors tried and failed, until a young boy named Arthur effortlessly pulled it free, unaware that he was Uther's lost son. Over the years, Arthur became a just and noble ruler, founding the legendary Round Table where all knights were equals, guided by the code of chivalry. However, Arthur's reign was constantly challenged by his formidable half-sister, Morgana, who believed herself to be the rightful ruler. Delving into forbidden sorcery, she waged war against her brother, culminating in a brutal battle where Arthur managed to imprison her essence within the earth itself. But before she was sealed away, Morgana vowed revenge, swearing to return when the land was fractured once more. Centuries later, the world has fallen into turmoil once again. Wars, poverty, and corruption erode society's foundations. In a quiet English town, 12-year-old Alex lives with his mother, Mary, who struggles to provide for him alone. One morning, Alex receives a frantic message from his best friend, Betters, pleading for help. Rushing to the school playground, he finds two bullies, Lance and Kay, extorting Betters for his lunch money. Without hesitation, Alex steps in to defend his friend. Lance, self-proclaimed ruler of the school, shoves Alex to the ground, sneering, "I'm the king around here." Instead of backing down, Alex lunges at him, sparking a scuffle. Moments later, Principal Lee intervenes, demanding an explanation. But Alex, unwilling to escalate things further, remains silent. After school, Betters expresses his gratitude, offering to perform a magic trick to cheer Alex up. However, the trick fails, much to their amusement. Back home, Mary tries to get Alex to open up about his troubles, but he remains frustrated, convinced that speaking up would only make things worse. The following day, during detention, Lance issues a silent threat by scrawling a warning on his hand, out of sight of the teachers. After class, Alex attempts to escape, but Lance and Kay chase him to a construction site. Cornered, Alex stumbles backward, losing his footing and tumbling off a ledge. He blacks out upon impact. When Alex regains consciousness, he finds himself lying beside an ancient stone, within which a magnificent sword is embedded. A strange, otherworldly energy radiates from the blade. Without understanding why, Alex reaches out and effortlessly pulls the sword free, feeling a surge of power coursing through him. Deep beneath the earth, Morgana stirs from her slumber. She senses the blade's awakening and sends forth her shadowy minions to seek out its new wielder. Later that evening, Alex and Betters examine the sword at home, deciphering an inscription on the hilt with the help of the internet. To their astonishment, it appears to be none other than King Arthur's legendary Excalibur. The discovery reminds Alex of an old book his father once gifted him, a book about Arthurian legends with a heartfelt note calling him the future king. At the mystical site of Stonehenge, a rift in time opens, and a young man steps through. He is Merlin, the ancient sorcerer reborn. Clad in nothing but a tattered robe, he soon realizes he needs to blend into the modern world. Using magic, he convinces a store clerk to hand him some clothes and later compels two police officers to drive him into town. Before they can question him further, he erases their memories and vanishes, transforming into an owl. Merlin eventually finds his way to Alex's school, enrolling under the name Merton. His old-fashioned mannerisms make him the subject of ridicule among the students. Betters, ever curious, suggests befriending him. but Alex is reluctant. During class, the teacher announces an upcoming solar eclipse in 4 days, causing Merlin to panic. He had miscalculated. He believed there were 4 years left before Morgana's return, not 4 days. At lunchtime, Merlin bursts into the cafeteria, dramatically proclaiming that Alex is the chosen one, destined to stop Morgana before she reawakens. The students mock him, pelting him with food. Merlin flees in humiliation, once again transforming into an owl. That night, an eerie glow emanates from Alex's closet. A strange noise awakens him, and through the window, he sees a monstrous figure emerging from the ground. Panic sets in as the creature breaks into his home. Alex rushes to wake his mother, only to find that she's nowhere in sight. Desperate, he grabs the sword, but the monstrous being easily disarms him. Just as the creature prepares to strike, it suddenly implodes into dust. A weakened Merlin collapses on the floor, having used his last reserves of magic to defeat the demon. Before vanishing, Merlin instructs Alex to meet him at a fried chicken shop the next morning. Meanwhile, in the underworld, the shattered remains of the demon return to Morgana, relaying news of Alex's existence. She wastes no time, summoning an army of shadow creatures to hunt him down. The next morning, Merlin, now working at the chicken shop, explains that he must regularly consume a special potion to sustain his power, and the fast food contains all the necessary ingredients. He also reveals that time freezes during the twilight hours when Morgana's minions appear, which is why Alex's mother was momentarily unreachable the night before. Merlin warns that the solar eclipse will grant Morgana the power to fully return. Alex, overwhelmed, insists he's just a kid, not a hero. In response, Merlin conjures a terrifying vision of a world consumed by darkness, ruled by Morgana. The sight of himself and his friends enslaved convinces Alex to take up the quest. Alex and Betters return to the construction site where he first found the sword. The stone bears an inscription identical to the one in his father's book, leading Alex to suspect that his father was part of something greater. He decides to travel to Tintagel, the legendary birthplace of King Arthur, in hopes of uncovering the truth. Before they can set out, Lance and Kay confront them, mocking the sword as a mere toy. To prove its authenticity, Alex places it back into the stone and challenges them to remove it. Both fail. Begrudgingly, they allow Alex to knight them as part of his new quest. Just then, Morgana's shadow creatures materialize, forcing the group to flee. They try using flammable liquids against the creatures, but the demons only grow stronger. Realizing physical force won't work, the group steals a car. During their escape, Alex accidentally discovers that blunt force, like slamming a car door into the demons, can defeat them. Kay takes the wheel, weaving through the streets like a madwoman, using every possible trick to shake off their pursuers. Eventually, they manage to destroy the remaining creatures and retreat to Alex's home. Gathered around the dining table, Alex points out that their names, Alex, Arthur, Betters, Bedivere, Lance, Lancelot, and Kay, Sir Kay, mirror those of Arthurian legends. The round dining table before them is yet another sign. Unbeknownst to them, Morgana has been watching their every move. Through her dark magic, she now knows their strengths and their weaknesses. The following morning, Mary wakes to find Alex gone. No heartfelt farewell, just a hastily scribbled note. Meanwhile, Alex and his friends, Lance, Kay, and Betters, board a bus bound for Tintagel, determined to uncover the truth. Their journey is abruptly interrupted when Merlin appears in the middle of the road, halting the bus. With a flick of his fingers, he charms the driver into allowing him on board. While pleased with their courage, Merlin quickly realizes that Lance's attitude is far from noble. Disappointed by their lack of discipline, he insists that their journey must include proper nightly training. The bus grinds to a stop in the middle of the countryside, where Merlin introduces them to the chivalric code, a set of virtues that true knights must uphold. Only those with honor and truth in their hearts can defeat Morgana, he warns. The rules are simple. Protect those you love, never strike without cause, always speak the truth, and persevere until the very end. From there, Merlin leads them to Stonehenge, where tourists gather to hear theories about its origins. Cutting in, Merlin scoffs, declaring it was nothing more than his personal transportation hub. Without another word, he conjures a portal, transporting the group to Bodmin Moor, just 20 miles from Tintagel. Their next challenge? Walking the remaining distance, a test of endurance and determination. When they stop to rest, Merlin takes Excalibur, casting a spell to create 3 replicas so that everyone can train. Enchanting the nearby trees, he transforms them into sparring partners before leaving to find food. At first, the training goes poorly, but the trees guide their movements, allowing them to improve. Seizing this opportunity, Morgana channels dark energy through the roots, warping the trees into ruthless attackers. As their branches ensnare Alex and Bettis, a sinister voice whispers in Lance's mind, urging him to take the real Excalibur for himself. Succumbing to temptation, Lance seizes the blade and challenges the trees, only for him and Kay to be overpowered as well. Alex shouts for Merlin, who returns in an instant, obliterating the possessed trees with a single spell, though the effort leaves him visibly drained. Before retreating to recover, he warns them to stay united. Furious, Alex confronts Lance for his reckless arrogance, but Lance refuses to back down. Feeling betrayed, he storms off, Kay following close behind. Wanting to prove himself, Bettis chases after them, only for Lance to shove him into a swamp. When Alex intervenes, Lance lashes out, their anger boiling over into a full-fledged fight. They tumble into the murky water, and in the scuffle, Excalibur snaps in two. Stunned, Lance falters, realizing his mistake. Ashamed, he and Kay leave, convinced they are just kids, powerless to change anything. Refusing to accept defeat, Alex recalls the Lady of the Lake from his father's book. Desperate, he kneels by the water's edge, whispering an invocation.
Silence stretches on.
Then, with a sudden ripple, a spectral hand emerges, clutching a fully restored Excalibur. Lance watches in awe and finally acknowledges Alex as their leader. With renewed resolve, the group swears loyalty to one another, vowing to see their mission through to the end. Hours later, they encounter a band of mysterious riders who offer them passage to Tintagel. However, as dusk falls, the riders disappear into thin air, leaving the children with only their horses. The moment Excalibur begins glowing, demonic entities emerge from the shadows, forcing them into a frenzied chase through the forest. Betters is captured, but Alex, wielding Excalibur, strikes down his captor. To throw the demons off their trail, he leaves the sword glowing in a clearing, serving as a distraction. Upon reaching a steep cliffside, the group hides along the edge, luring the demons into plummeting into the waters below. At last, they reach Tintagel, where Alex ventures alone to face the truth about his father. Upon arrival, Alex is greeted by Sophie, his bitter and unwelcoming aunt. When he inquires about his father, she coldly informs him that his dad was no warrior, only a broken man who abandoned his family. The demons his mother spoke of? His battle with alcoholism. Even the cherished note in his Arthurian book wasn't from his father. It was from Mary, a mother desperate to give her son hope. Shattered, Alex returns to his friends, throwing the book into the sea. His faith in himself, in his destiny, is gone. He declares that he hates his mother for lying to him. Beddens, ever the optimist, refuses to let Alex succumb to despair. To prove that hard work trumps destiny, he proudly performs a magic trick he had practiced all night, perfectly duplicating a coin. His perseverance had paid off. Inspired, Lance and Kay step forward, offering their own encouragement. Just then, Merlin reappears with a book in hand, reminding Alex that Excalibur does not judge by blood, but by heart. As if by fate, the wind flips the pages open to an image of Morgana's fortress, proving that it still exists in the present day. This, without a doubt, must be the entrance to the underworld. The group purchases armor using Better's newly mastered trick and rides to the fortress. At its entrance, Excalibur reveals a hidden passage descending into darkness. As they navigate the tunnel, Morgana's roots lash out, ensnaring the knights. Alex alone presses forward. At the tunnel's end, he nearly tumbles into a pit of lava where Morgana awaits, shifting into a monstrous, fire-breathing creature. Feigning surrender, Alex lures her close before plunging Excalibur into her chest. The cavern begins to collapse, and the group scrambles to escape. Believing the war won, Alex returns Excalibur to the Lady of the Lake before heading home. He sneaks into his bedroom, unwilling to face his mother just yet. Morning arrives, and with it, Morgana's vengeful wrath. Thorned vines coil around Alex's house, signaling her survival. Merlin appears, piecing together what went wrong. Alex had not fully upheld the chivalric code. He had failed to honor the one who loved him most, his mother. Realizing his mistake, Alex apologizes to Mary, at last understanding that everything she did was to protect him. With her blessing, he reclaims Excalibur and sets his sights on a new plan. They would not fight alone. They would raise an army. At school, Alex and his friends, clad in armor, rally their classmates. Skepticism turns to belief when Merlin transforms into a bird before their eyes. Yet it isn't until Principal Lee offers to excuse the volunteers from class that they finally commit. Using Better's trick, they duplicate weapons and armor, preparing for the final battle. As the eclipse darkens the sky, Morgana's forces descend upon the school. Using teachers' cars, the students ram through the first wave, only to crash into each other. In the gym, dumbbells and ropes serve as makeshift weapons, while others trap demons with tripwires. But the creatures keep coming. On the roof, Alex faces Morgana's final form, a towering winged beast. While his friends lasso her wings, he baits her, sword glowing. Just as she prepares to unleash hellfire upon Merlin, Alex delivers the finishing blow, driving Excalibur through her heart. With a furious shriek, Morgana is pulled into a swirling vortex, sealing her fate. As dawn breaks, the world returns to normal. Merlin bids farewell, leaving Alex with a new book chronicling his story, reminding him that even children can change the world. Determined to shape a better future, Alex and his friends vow to carry on their knightly virtues, even in a world filled with chaos. And with one final act of honor, Alex returns Excalibur to the Lady of the Lake, ensuring that it remains guarded until the next time it is needed. And just like that, the legend was reborn. With Excalibur returned to the depths, the world may never know how close it came to destruction. But one thing is certain, when the time comes, the sword will rise again. Do you think you'd be worthy of wielding Excalibur? Let us know in the comments. And if you love epic movie recaps like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more legendary stories.